All right, everybody, it's Awestruck Comics Podcast News of the Week. News of the week. I'll knock out some quick plugs. Awestruck Comics Podcast, thanks for listening. Go back. We just posted our Last Blood review. Go back, like and subscribe, comment, share. Awestruck Comics Podcast on Instagram. Idiosyncratic Pulp on Instagram. Rob, you're on X's.
I've got Rob Messick on Twitter, where I talk about comic art, show comic art, doing a series of Youngblood covers leading up to the
Mm.
launch of the new book. We're all very excited. I have my Maximum Supreme Twitter page. That's where I go over an issue a day of Supreme. We have Allstruck Comics Gmail, which, you don't have to Gmail us, just comment. It's easier.
Hmm.
Um, and we have an Allstruck Comics Facebook page, which has nothing to do with this podcast. It's just various comics I've done in the past. And that's it for the plugs.
That's
Let's get
it.
into let's dig into the news.
The news. You're
What
on
have you?
blind news this week. No
I am blind
news
news.
for you. You're busy. I
Mark, you
get
used to
it.
be a newsman. What do you what do you got for us this week?
That is, that's correct. So let's check it out. We'll start with my favorite guy. Not really. Uh, let me.
Ah,
I know,
what?
surprising.
Surprising. I don't know what this is. Also, the Imperial blocks half of it. So we got an Imperial ad here. Jonathan Hickman,
Yep.
Federico Vincentini. Is he announced as the artist?
He's the artist. Yeah. Well, no, I'm confused.
Isn't Ivan Coelho an artist too? Or is he?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not sure who. Most of the art that's in here. So we're looking at Marvel's event, the Hickman event, which we think is kind of just remnants of some of his previous pitches,
Right.
some possibly Legion of Superhero pitches. So, um, let's see
So is
here.
this who are we looking at here? We're looking at Scar in the middle, maybe? Or is
No,
this
so yeah, so Scar is on the
is
left.
that supposed to be Scar? He doesn't have any of his tattoos.
I think it's She-Hulk, and oh wait, I'm not sure. I know it's Hulk in the front. I'm sorry, it's Hulk.
That's straight up
Uh,
Hulk. Is
yeah, a skinny Black Panther, Hulk in the front.
that
Uh,
Havoc?
it looks like Havoc, and then
That's not She-Hulk, right?
I don't
I
know,
mean, the obvious answer is it looks like She-Hulk, but it's not. All right, so we don't know if this is an alternate reality take or just somehow he gathers up all these various
right?
Marvel characters
Or it's future. Um,
or his
I
future
mean, it
like
could be
that.
She-Hulk, but to me, I'm a little bored by like,
They could be like the kids of Scar.
oh
Also, that's
no,
not
maybe,
She-Hulk's. Isn't She-Hulk's hair dark green
yeah, yeah, but Scar doesn't look if that's or maybe that's Scar.
in the middle? The middle looks like Scar, or what Nick Klein's Hulk kind of looks like.
Right, right, right.
But that doesn't. But to the left, that doesn't look like young Scar. That doesn't look like
Mm,
Amadeus Cho.
right.
I don't know. We're
I don't think
listen.
it. Let's see. Let's see. So,
If Hickman's starting this off with Hulk stuff, you know what? You got my attention.
well, yeah. I mean, it can be away from the Hulk stuff that's there. You know what I mean? So, let me see what details are here. To shatter and redesign the Marvel Cosmos. I'm
All
very
right.
excited about this project. Fan of all things Marvel Cosmic, which is I don't know if that's true. It's convenient.
I mean, if you're a comic fan, we're all kind of fans of it. So we
So
all
we're
love.
having a
So
setup
June
book.
4th. All right.
Yeah, except having the setup book Imperial will be more like an event than a world building exercise like Ultimate Invasion. Our team is killing it. We're all excited what's happening in the special corner of the Marvel Universe.
All right. So here's
So
what's weird. They've been promoting this book. It's a big deal. Everything. Oh, okay, we get it. But then it's only 4 issues, or is it 4 issues to start and then it leads into something more?
it seems like that there might be like a couple like spin-off series from this. And maybe there's a Space Hulk series or Hulk Family series.
I mean, that
Uh,
Hulk looks like World Breaker Hulk,
yeah, it looks like Planet Hulk.
right?
Looks a bit like Planet Hulk. So, but I don't know. I don't know how new it is. I like these greens.
The greens look good.
So that we think that's Corsair, Richard Rider.
Right.
Maybe that's Star-Lord. Maybe that's Star-Lord. That's
Looks a little
Star-Lord.
like Star-Lord.
Yeah. I like that. I like
Return
the
to form.
crackling. I like the crackling here. Art and designs by
You know what happens
um,
in space? Men can grow beards.
Men Grow Beards in Space. Correct.
That's
So
an old state riff, but men can't grow beards in space, but we all have beards. It's like the dumbest state sketch, but it's so funny.
I don't remember that one.
They're just sitting
What
around, and the guy's like accusing them all of being aliens. He's like, "You're
is
aliens because you all have beards."
is the state
Like,
anywhere? Does the state own anything? Probably
ooh,
not. Probably have
I
to
feel
pirate
like
it.
it. I feel like it was on. Good luck pirating it.
Yeah.
Not that I approve of pirating, but like when you look up the state, it gives you a million different things. State of the Union
Right.
addresses, state of this, state of that. Like it's like, ugh.
Yeah,
You
there's
know
an
what?
artist that bums me out. There's an artist that I like who does a lot of like romance comics. His name is Enrique Nieto. Well, the president of like Paraguay is also named that. So I can't find that. I just see pictures of this guy, and I'm like Enrique Nieto art. Then they have like art of them making fun of this guy, like all like editorial cartoons. I'm like, damn it,
I I feel
it's
like
really
at
hard
one
to find.
point the state might have been on Paramount Plus.
Mm.
Um, because they did put out a DVD series of it. They did put out a DVD collection of it like 5, 10 years ago. It took them 20 years to get that collection together because they had to take out all the popular songs of the day.
Oof.
I know it sucks. Like, because there's sketches where the music of the day is so intertwined in that sketch,
Mhm.
you know? And then you hear like a music, like sometimes it sounds a little bit like the song. It's not bad, but
Right,
sometimes
right.
it's glaringly like, oof, that music made the scene. But it's still good. It's a good
Yeah.
DVD set. It doesn't have the CBS special.
Oh, I see. Right.
So
Yeah, there's a couple good. There was an interview with Michael Ian Black that he talked about that on how like once they got over to CBS or something like they're like, oh no, like this is already canceled or like there was just stuff that was messed up about it, and then it was like I know it's gonna be over, So
it's a shame. They weren't making like anything. They were making like
no,
no money from that. But like we loved it because we, as Generation Xers, although technically you're a Xennial, you know that, Mark?
no,
You're like
I,
this, like the people born in '77 are considered like Xennials. Like you're not a
nah.
millennial, but you're not quite a Gen X.
Hmm.
And you repudiate that. You disagree. You want to be in with us Generation
Uh,
Xers.
I feel I am, general. I because you know why? Because I think there's the stigma of millennial. I feel like millennials are lazy. That's the stigma in my brain that millennials all suck and they have no, and that's not true. I fucking hustle.
People, yeah, the common thing is people like to they change like, oh, you're past 1980, you're a millennial, and I'm like, okay, I'll let you have that. But if for a while it was Generation X stopped at 76, the
Hmm.
bicentennial year.
No, I
All right,
disagree.
we'll let you.
So.
We'll let you slide in, Mark. You're fine. You're cool.
Yeah, we'll see. So if this is going to be okay, so on this here, my
Oh, you
opinion
know
would
why you
be
slide in, Mark? Because you're a Star Wars baby.
yes, that's
You were
correct.
born around the time of the first Star Wars movie, so that's like the
I was
cutoff.
born 3 days before Star Wars started,
All right, you
before it
win.
came out.
You're in.
So when I was zero.
You're in like Flynn.
So if I can get this Hickman to be not God, Gods was unreadable to me. Gods like I couldn't read it at all. Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm like back and forth. Aliens, Avengers, great. That's great. So if you can do space stuff like that and have it like be,
If you if he
you
can
know,
write it for fans and not write it for Hickman, I
his
hate to
Doom
say that.
special, his Doom scripting on that special was great. Uh, but that Wolverine miniseries sucks. Wolverine miniseries just straight up just blows.
Don't try to be super funny and inventive with this. Don't be like real like making up languages and all that stuff. Like just give us a straight story. Your ideas are good enough to warrant like it's a straight story, and then you can pepper in stuff. But
Hmm.
like that, I did read Gods, and I had to be in the right mood to read it, or else I was just if any distraction happened to me, boom, I was zoned out of that book.
Yeah, I zoned
You know,
out. I'm not.
you had to be in.
I think, and
So,
that's, and I don't know. I think that's part of my issue is that like I'm just old. You know what I mean? I know
but
I'm
then
not.
but look at his Wolverine Revenge. That's written for the masses. And you and I,
Yeah,
we know it could be better, but it's
I've
written in
seen
a
it.
way that like everyone, and we might be in the minority here with that book because I honestly expected more.
Yeah,
I expected better. I feel like that book's very by the numbers,
yeah. I'm not wonderful on that book. So,
but I'm
um,
excited about this, and I really hope it's good.
I don't know if you saw these. So they put a lot of black and whites up, which I'm fine with. They only have one color one. So Marvel teases Superior Avengers details. I think Superior Avengers is. I'm not sure if that's going to come out. If this is coming out of One Nation Under Doom because I can't figure that book out really. I can't
Well,
figure out the concept of that book. But I like that a lot of them are up that are just they're up as black and whites. So, but when I first look at everything, I don't think any of those characters are the characters that they are. So I'm like, oh, it's Black Panther. Oh, no, it's Killmonger. Okay. So it's almost like they're doing like a
Okay,
Thunderbolts
I like
type of
that.
thing. Okay, so it is one world under Doom. Okay. All right, there we go.
Yes. So it's yeah,
Um,
Superior, because Superior, they've only applied it to Superior Spider-Man, which was an evil person taking on the persona of a good person.
mm,
Superior Iron Man, which is when Tony Stark got, when they did that whole Axis flip or whatever, where the good guys became bad, the bad guys became good.
mm,
And after that story was over, Iron Man stayed bad. Simultaneously, Sabretooth stayed good. There's something weird about Sabretooth staying good. It's a weird Marvel thing. Age of
it's bad.
Apocalypse, Axis. He was good after he got his brain lobotomized for a minute. He was good on the X-Men after that. Like it's a weird.
Uh,
I don't ever think it's bad, but it's
I
interesting.
don't know. I never like it. I never like it. And you know what? You know what's really weird? I like love Juggernaut right now. What they've done, what Jed McKay has done with Juggernaut, and it's spilling into the Joe Kelly stuff. Like, I love that Juggernaut. I love this version of Juggernaut. I think it's the
All right,
best.
let's hold off that till
Yeah.
reviews day,
Reviews
baby. Come
day.
back in a couple days. All right,
This is
so
kind of a weird, I don't know. I don't know. This looks like Kang kind of with his helmet here. This
and
has
in
a
black and white, that is that Hydra Cap shield? Looks kind of like it's
kind of,
not, but it
yeah.
kind of like reminds me of that in black and white.
That reminds me of Grendel, really. It's got a
Really,
Grendel
it
feel.
it does look like Grendel, except for the, you know what it is? You just love it because it's got these awesome Kyle Hotz covers.
Oh
Like
yeah,
yes, please, like
yeah.
that goes right in our alley.
Ghost is Ghost. Got it.
Ghost is
Fine.
Ghost, yeah.
Correct. All right. And Ghost will be in.
But Ghost in the comics was always a dude, right? So now they're making a Ghost that's a girl.
Yeah, they put Ghost. I mean, Ghost was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and is going to be in Thunderbolts. I believe probably going to be murdered immediately, like a Suicide Squad situation, dead very quickly. Because I think I've only seen her in a couple shots. Same thing with Taskmaster. They're gone. 1, 2, dead. You know what I mean? They're not going to kill Yelena.
You
They're
know,
not going to kill.
I don't. Here's a weird thing. I don't want like dude Ghost to come into that movie. But if
Mm,
we could get dude Taskmaster, like
mm.
Hood,
Yeah,
you know,
give me the regular. Give me the Taskmaster that is like the pirate Taskmaster with the big boots and shit.
oh
You know
yeah,
what I
the
mean? Like,
Buccaneer boots
give
and
me.
the hood and the cape and carrying around Captain America's shield and just
Well, it's funny.
the better
There wouldn't be a
skull face.
Deathstroke, right? There wouldn't be a Deathstroke basically if it wasn't for Taskmaster. Because he
Yes,
created Taskmaster, and then he's like, he got pulled over to DC. He's like, I still want to do stuff with this, so he kind of just made that, and
yeah,
you
right.
know,
The chainmail, the boots, everything. Yeah. So
so Malekith,
Malekith.
great.
I mean, it just looks like Malekith, I guess.
He does, but again, nothing's in color, so we'll see. It's really funny because I always you always see Kyle and it's Heart EH, or I think it was used to be EK, and I don't think it was EKH now. But what if they broke up? Like every cover he has like him loving and his wife. So, I mean, maybe in divorced all the time. I get it. So, and then we have to race swap or gender swap the Doctor
No, this
Octopus.
is already an existing character from the 90s.
Oh, that's right. I don't care about that though. I can't. To me, my brain is so like entrenched with Doc Ock original. I can't do it. Plus, I don't think as muscular as this is, I don't think you can. I guess I always attribute Doc Ock as a gravity holding him because his arms got to be insane, right? Like the belt, like that's why it's almost like a muscle belt when Alfred Molina had it on, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like it doesn't make any sense elsewhere. I don't know if that was Ditko's. Who's your favorite? All right, I might already know this answer. Who's your favorite Doctor Octopus
Um,
artist?
After Ditko, it's Eric Larson.
Yeah,
You know
that's
it.
correct.
You know it. He drew an awesome. He put him in a cool suit, like just a regular white suit.
White
You
suit.
know,
I remember
and he
him going
made.
like this. He's like flying at you.
There's crazy. Like one point, he's like fighting people, and he's like sipping tea or something with the other arm. Like Eric Larson was very inventive with the suit. We didn't get enough McFarlane drawing the suit. I think he drew him on a Marvel Tales cover.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. Yeah, I don't
and
think
that's
he's
it.
ever put him in. Right.
Good
No,
Marvel
we'll
Tales
see.
cover.
No, they're all those Marvel stuff cover that. This is weird. I mean, basically Onslaught. It looks like a Magneto drawing, but why is he all like just
Very,
completely?
very gaunt, like very
It's
Dead
yeah,
Man-esque.
yeah. So that's freaky.
Very female boots.
I feel like
Oh
if
my
they do
God, what if it's
this,
like a Holocaust survivor?
you should put. Ugh, yeah, you should put. I feel like if you do this, you should really, really put the
It could be Cassandra
uh
Nova.
an extra. You should have like variants. You can do them in color, but maybe have like I mean, listen, they love variants. Let's do like a 1 in 15
Yeah,
or
why wouldn't you?
whatever.
What do you
You
think?
know.
Cassandra Nova? Holocaust survivor? Someone else?
Well, what? Okay,
I don't
so
know
who?
where Cassandra Nova is right now, but I know she wears boots like that.
who is Onslaught? Onslaught is the
Is the mental demon created by parts of Professor X and Eric Lensher Magneto? Eric Lensher,
it's just like you think at the time, you're like, yeah, this is a good idea, but like trying to explain it now, you're just like, I don't know if that's. I think it's really dumb. Like, but we loved it though. We loved the way he looked. Who did the first Onslaught? Was that Adam?
I feel
Adam
like it
Kubert.
was Adam or Andy.
Adam, and then I think I want to say that the Onslaught Marvel Universe it was two
Oh,
Onslaught
the book
X-Men.
itself. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Adam.
Okay. But I feel
Yeah,
like the second one had like extra people in it. I feel like he didn't finish the second one.
not in time. Yeah,
Yeah.
not in time.
All right.
Not a
Yeah,
doctor.
so we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Acclaim will help uncover their secrets drawing select sequences. Oh, he's going to draw select sequences throughout the series.
Who's that? Who will?
Whoa. I didn't even notice that. I mean, I pulled the press release, but all right. Okay. Abomination, Dr.
No.
Octopus, Ghost, Killmonger, Malekith, Onslaught. Inspire hope and peace. Really? Okay.
Hotz is having a minute because he did that one issue of Violator, and I'm like, Mark, this issue's so good
I
looking.
know. I have a giant Cow Hots collection. Like my new collection is all by artists. I didn't realize how much I have. I have like all the Rune, Curse of the Rune, Nightman. I have like a
Dude,
ton. I
you
have
have to
Cold
get
Blooded. I think I'm missing Cold Blooded 3. Cold Blooded was a black and white that Kelly Jones did the first cover
you
for, which is
need
why
to
I
get
bought it.
his Hell comic. It's just Hell. I think it's just called Hell, and it's just a
Hmm.
biblical, accurate representation of how horrible Hell is and how we're all going there. Like it's a real place. It's written by like a really right wing, or at least a super Christian
Oh wow. Hmm.
writer. I don't even know who wrote it. I read it a long time ago, and I'm like, is Kyle Hotz like real Christian, or is just like a gig?
Don't know. I have no
Could just
idea.
be a gig.
Could be a gig.
Those church things pay good. Remember Liefeld? Do you ever read
Covenant?
his no, before that he did another book. Egg on my face for not remembering. He did a
How do you not
hardcover
remember that?
with a writer. It was like his pastor at his church, Phil Hotzflyer or something like that. He did this book called Armageddon Now.
Hmm.
It's a fully painted hardcover. Like this guy Matt Swift started to paint it, and then my buddy Mike Caprati finished painting it.
Hmm.
And it's just this alpha dude, and it's got to end. It's like after the apocalypse happens or after Armageddon happens, and he just has to save people and I guess stop further things from happening during the Armageddon.
This is a
It's
Liefeld drawing it
full,
or
fully painted book. Yeah, Liefeld penciled the whole
okay.
thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, he sold it, and he sold it through his church, which is like probably sold thousands of copies because he used to go to this mega church.
Hmm.
I don't know if he still does or not.
Righteous Gemstones Church.
Probably.
Hmm.
And then he did an issue follow up. There's like original graphic novel, and then he had a follow up comic. He was going to have another miniseries with it. There was a female lead, and at the one New York Comic Con, he actually had a model actress dressed up as the girl character. I think her name was like Jade or Jada.
Hmm.
It's fun stuff. You should check it out.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Do you have a physical copy of it?
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
They're not expensive. There's a ton of them out there.
Oh, well,
But you know
I gotta
what?
look it up on eBay.
One more thing you don't know.
One more thing I don't know. We should review it. Review it. You
You know
know?
what? We'd be probably the only
We
ones.
can review that and we can review the Golden Plates, which is pretty
Oh, the
much
Mike.
unreadable. That's
So
really hard to read.
Michael already was a Mormon. I don't think he still is, or I think he has. He has issues like most people in religions as they grow older.
Mm,
People like grow out of it, and then sometimes they go back to it at the end. And he's at the phase where I think he's like in between. And the
right.
Golden Plates is the kind of the genesis for Mormons,
John Smith.
the actual book, right? John Smith and Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith.
So Mike Allred did an adaptation of their third testament, and I was so excited to read it. And I'm just like, I can't
It's
do it.
tough. Yeah, it
I'm
was
so
tough.
bored.
I
So
don't think he
bored.
adapted it. Yeah, he has some project on the horizon. I saw some video of him interviewed this weekend, and he was saying he has something that he can't talk about, but it's similar to his Bowie project. It's coming out through an extra publisher, but he can't talk about it. So I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
and I love religion. I love religion history. Like I love weird stuff and give me your weird stories and I read this book on Muhammad and I'm just like this stuff is well, I bet it's great, people. You always hear like if you like draw him, they like kill you or something or There's always like these like don't
Oh, right,
make
right, right.
caricatures like don't draw Muhammad. It's like against their religion to draw him. But
Hmm.
somebody did a comic about him, and
Uh-oh.
it's pretty interesting. It's pretty
Huh.
interesting. It's not my religion, but
No.
it's interesting. But it's funny because he's one of those prophets that came along. And he's like, hey, Jesus is awesome. Like that's in the Muslim religion. Like he's like, oh yeah, Jesus is great. We love Jesus. I'm like, that's neat because I think that stuff happens like 1,000. I think Muhammad's like 1,000 years ago,
Mm.
but Jesus is 2,000 years ago. I don't know. Let's get out of religion and let's talk about
Right.
Walt Simonson. What's Walt
Let's talk
Simonson
about
doing?
Conan. So you probably didn't see this is on
By Crom. Let's talk about Crom and that religion.
we can. We can actually. We can do that. We'll have a whole episode about Crom. So this is interesting. It says Walt Simonson returned the Conan the Barbarian. He's only ever done like two issues of Conan the Barbarian and a couple covers. Like, so I don't know why they're saying the return, but whatever. But
Because
what's weird,
technically, because the Conan fans, they probably love those issues. So it is a big return.
yeah, that's to me, that's more the issues he drew are his, it's the style that he drew before he drew Thor, like Peter Ray Bill Thor. So
Hmm.
like to me that there's a different style. That style is almost like it's Buscema and Neil Adams put together. Like it's not exactly that when he was doing more house style. So I get it. Listen, I get it. But even I mean, Rich Buckler does some issues of Conan around that time, and they're all looking the same ish. So, but what's weird about this, and I'm a little confused at this. It's released on digital platforms on May 7th, but they don't have a timeline on when it's going to be in print potentially. So I don't know what the deal is there.
So
So
do you like Jerry Ma? Is that an artist has he drawn
uh,
other Conan books for Titan?
no, I don't know who that is at all. But I don't love the color, like the I don't love the like the cover. So okay, so there we go. Great, right?
Walt
Cover by
Simonson.
Walt Simonson, right?
Yeah.
Great. But then this is the guy who's drawing it, and I don't know. It almost looks like I don't know. Doesn't look like Conan really exactly. So I don't know who this person is. I'm not sure if it's one of his students, maybe.
Maybe the insides will impress us.
Yeah, this cover doesn't really impress me. Like the coloring kind of
You know what?
feels like,
It's got a weird Frank Miller vibe to it, but like modern day Frank Miller, not like great old Frank Miller.
yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. So I mean, again, it's digital only. I support Titan like ridiculous right now. Like they're so good at stuff. So we'll see. I mean, maybe I won't get it in print. Maybe it won't come in print. I don't know. Maybe they saw it and they're like, yeah, we can put this out, but we won't print it. I don't know. I think pretty much anything, even a Conan one shot, I think would still make its money. By Walt Simonson. I'm a little bummed out he's not drawing it. I mean, that's
Yeah, I know that would have been the height of all things.
yeah, but I know he's pretty much semi-retired. So here's Marvel doing something really dumb again. Again, so you have a movie coming out on May 2nd, right? So
Right.
let's put out a Thunderbolts Asterix miniseries in June. Cool. You didn't know this movie was coming? I'm sorry. Like you didn't know this feels like old Marvel. This feels like 90s Marvel where they're like, "Hey, you know what we should do? We should get what was it? Didn't they put Claremont on to X-Men and it was like so unreadable? Wasn't there like
Yes.
it was
It
just
was a
like
bad when the X-Men movie
yeah,
came out, right. That's when he brought in the Neo and the Goth. He that was a bad time for Claremont. I was real excited about him coming back too, because they gave
yeah,
him Lionel Francis Yu to draw it. So I'm like,
right.
oh, this will be really good. The other mistake they made, and I don't know if everyone has this or not, when the movie came out, TV Guide was like, hey, we'll give you like an 8 or 10 pages of TV Guide to do an X-Men
Mhm.
story, which Marvel should have been like, yeah, let's do our best. And this is pre-Joe Quesada.
Right.
So they just got Claremont and LaRocca to do a story, and it was like, bleh?
Yeah, it was nothing.
It was nothing. It was like,
Right.
ah, do you know how many millions of people read TV Guide? Millions.
Yeah, used to. Used to.
Used to. Back then, yeah. Everyone's
So,
parents, what household didn't get TV Guide weekly?
yeah,
I
it
don't
was a
know
lot.
anyone who didn't.
It was a lot. TV Guide they used to be collectible. They used to have collectible covers. Remember, Alex Ross did some
I,
covers. They used to
he
have
did the
stuff.
Smallville covers,
Yeah.
and the one point they did sci-fi crossovers. I remember having like a Mulder and Alf on the same cover, from Mulder from X-Files and Alf. I'm
It
like, yes,
was like Comic Scene when Comic Scene would just like collage a bunch of shit on the cover. You're like, oh my God, I can't want to read this.
yeah.
Sam Humphries coming back. Who was Sam Humphries under? Wasn't he like a junior writer for somebody? Was that a Jeff Johns or
Like,
something? Does that sound right?
I feel like he came in with like the Kieran Gillen guys, but
Okay.
he kind of stood out because maybe he wasn't like British.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I think
okay.
it was like the Al Ewings came over in the Gilland, and I think he was around that time.
Yeah, he's okay. The problem I think that we're gonna talk about a little later in Marvel is just that like the talent pool just is nothing because they don't pay anything. So it's
Yes.
so it's kind of like okay, and whoever, and it feels like every artist that they have, it almost feels like their entire company is what DC did with their minor lines in the late 70s, where they're like, we want to do sword and sorcery, but we don't want to pay anybody, so let's just hire Ernie Chua or any of the Tony DiZuniga. Let's just make all these minor books. Stalker, like let's do all these minor books. Uh, Arac, like as Ernie Coulon, like all these guys that they didn't pay. Marvel didn't, they just hired one person and they would just. I feel like their entire company is that because we know American, especially now pre-recession, which is probably a thing could happen.
Ugh, rough.
Uh, no one can pay their bills. So almost if you look at every artist, for the most part, the majority of them are not living in here. They're not living here. They live in the U.S. So this person's name and who is it? What's it say? Humphreys and Ton
Tone
Lima,
Tone
Ton
Lima. Yeah.
Ton Lima. I don't know who that is. So and even this is Stefan Segovia cover. So it looks like a Lena Francis Yu. Looks like a cool cover, but again, this is the problem is they put out and there's a Bagley variant. But even here, like you're kind of doing it wrong too. So you
Every
have like you're still doing it wrong. Like if you have a Thunderbolts asterisk like book, right? First off, number one, it's Lake. Secondly, you have Winter Soldier. Got it. Fine. We don't have a Winter Soldier book, no problem. But why isn't Yelena there? What's she doing? Like I always feel like it's kind of like when you think about what are these characters doing? They just sitting around. Like, are they just like, like say if it was a real universe, right? They're just like,
right.
are they there like waiting by the phone? They're like, man, they're putting out new Thunderbolts. I'm not even on it. And which Hulk is that? Who is that? You know
I
what I
mean
mean?
that looks like the Nick Klein, Philip Kennedy
I
Johnson Hulk.
guess, but that doesn't
But
make
like
sense. He's not going to join a team. Namor's not
no,
going to join a
he's
team. Laura is on Exceptional X-Men, right? Of course, that's
uh,
probably canceled.
or NYX, Clea, whatever. Carnage, I don't know. It's like it is Marvel. It's like the assault shakers, like the shake the salt, see what comes out this time.
Yeah,
And that's
I
how they
just
do their
don't
teams.
care.
It feels like Superior Avengers is more thought put into that book, and it's more interested. There's more different things. This is just it's more the
Yeah,
same.
I feel like it's a
It's
roll dice thing. Like, all right, who do we got? Let's roll the
yeah,
dice. Okay, okay.
like Namor just
Uh,
came out of his own miniseries by Jason Aaron, like a more powerful, hopefully a put together character. And like, will the next person honor that?
yeah,
I don't know. I
no.
don't know. I mean, Carnage is fine. Like, they're all fine characters. It's just,
Well, Carnage is now Carnage again, right? It's Eddie Brock Carnage. I feel like
well,
Carnage was. I feel like Carnage had a Venom situation where I thought different people were Carnage and stuff.
he
Is that
is,
right?
well, that's Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock was Venom. You're thinking of Cletus Cassidy.
Right. That's right. Exactly. So is Cletus Cassidy now Venom or no?
No, no, I think he's still
This is
dead.
so
Maybe
fucking
I don't
dumb.
know.
This is so dumb. This is so dumb.
It's
That
Marvel
character's not
doesn't
strong enough to like to the legacy.
who Carnage.
Yeah, he's not strong enough.
No,
He's an offshoot of a
Venom
character
is
that's a legacy character anyway. Venom is Spider-Man, black suit Spider-Man. Okay,
right,
the
right.
nostalgia comes a bit from that. What if a black suit Spider-Man was bad? Got it. What if it was red? Okay, like you know what I mean. What if it was red and skinny instead? All
What if
right.
he was more of a serial killer than the Venom costume, which is also a serial killer?
What if it's a
What if
serial
he's
killer in a Venom? Yeah, exactly. It's just it's a watered down. It's a facsimile facsimile. That's why I always
it's
hated.
a hat on a hat?
That's why I always hated any of the symbiote stuff. Who liked did Wilson like that stuff? Did Chris Wilson like all that shit?
Maybe.
I feel like he like, and I said that all that stuff is just garbage upon garbage. But it's a hat on a hat and a hat. It's 100 hats
We like they're all
in a
nice.
Russian doll.
It's nice to
So I
see
think it
Ron
makes
Lim
sense.
draw them. It's nice to see Mark Bagley draw them. It was nice to
Just
see Kyle
lazy.
Hotz draw
It's just
them.
lazy. Yeah, but like I do want that. I never see it for less. That's the only Kyle Hotz book that's worth any money. Is that
Mind
Carnage
Bomb.
book that I don't have, and it's so 90s, right? It's a foil cover. It's fucking Kyle Hotz
It's
on it.
dark.
It's
It's written
cool.
by Warren Ellis. It's just an awesome book.
Did he do a book that it wasn't like the Osborne Legacy, but he just did the cover and it was all a bunch of like files and shit. It was one
I
of
feel
those
like
like
that's
bad.
I
I
feel like
have
that's
that.
correct.
I have that because
Yeah.
it's the Kyle Hotz cover I got for $1. So everything should be $1, bro. All
We
right,
should
here we
let
go.
Kyle Hotz know that we love him so much.
Yeah, we should
Like
definitely. Yeah, we should definitely talk about. We talk about Kyle Hotz like every week or two, like pretty much. So
we have a thing for certain people. It's like, and
yeah,
whatever they do, whatever scrap we see, we're like, hey, let's talk about this. There could be other huge news we're missing, but we got to talk about Kyle Hotz this week.
right for an hour. There's the Battle Beast Connecteds. So this is tough, man, because I love the main Battle Beast cover. I don't know if I need to buy this, man, like physical. But
These
do
are
I buy the connecting? Yeesh. And this is ongoing?
This is
This is,
ongoing. I thought it
oh
was just
my
going to be a
God,
mini
dude.
series, and they
That's
said ongoing.
crazy.
Oh, they're calling
That's
it Invincible.
crazy.
They weren't calling it Invincible Universe before, were they?
No, it was just yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
think it
so
was
either.
like I don't know. I mean that listen, put it up there. That's fine. It's better than I think that I don't like the way that Dark Horse does it, where Dark Horse has a thin, tiny line up top from the world of Hellboy, from the there was a book came out last week. I meant to look at it at least. It was from the world of Ghost. When was the last time there was a Ghost book from the world of Ghost? Someone's like, let me do a series. You know what? I need to connect this to the Ghost universe. Who the fuck knows who the Ghost universe is? And is that the Ghost universe technically, or is that world's greatest? What was the
Still a
comics
comics
greatest
greatest
world?
world, comics greatest world. Yeah, they
I
might
don't
have
know.
another name for that.
From the
I
world of
like that stuff.
X.
I like
That
that
stuff
stuff.
was pretty fun. It had like a lot of cool like B plus artists.
It was neat because it was just not Image. Like
Yeah,
you and I, we hold Image in such high regard, and then Dark Horse is like, hey, we're going to do a superhero universe too. We're like, okay, and it's not great, but it's kind
yeah.
of good, and you're like, okay, like
Yeah, here's all the
um,
date. There's a list of all the variants, right? One in
now the
two
first cover,
thousand. One
the
in
A
two
cover, that's
thousand.
an homage to Invincible One, but you wouldn't almost know it by looking at it because he's such a different character. You don't pick up that it's
Oh
an
yeah,
Invincible number one
I don't.
homage. See,
So
David
yeah, Dave
Finch,
Finch,
that's going to look awesome.
Art Adams.
EJ Sue, we love EJ Sue.
That's a connecting. So that's cool.
Kale Nagu, I'm not familiar with him offhand.
Um, I've seen him on covers and stuff. Art Adams,
Beautiful,
John Boy
beautiful.
Myers,
We like him. Formerly known as
Cabin
Waterboy? No,
Boy.
Cabin Boy. Cabin Boy.
Boom. Blanks. I think it's funny when I saw this the other day. I was looking at it. It's a blank sketch cover is funny because there's not a sketch on it. It's just called blank cover.
Yeah,
Blank cover for sketches. But I feel like when I hear blank sketch cover, I'm like, does that mean there's a little sketch on it? So it's and then a foil Battle Beast die cut mask cover. $5. Isn't $5 for it regular? Or
maybe.
maybe it's 3.99.
Maybe
Maybe
it's
it's
three
popped
ninety
at
nine. Yeah.
3.99.
All right.
That's I don't know, man. The die cut covers, they're getting me. They're I mean that those New Gods ones. You still haven't seen them in person, right? The New Gods ones,
Oh yeah, no, I haven't.
pretty cool, man. It's tough.
I no glow in the dark cover. Boo.
No, I don't know. There might maybe after the DC one that they're doing, but the DC one is not it's not art. It's bats.
I want to
It's
push. I
you
want to
know
push Liefeld to get a Chapel glow in the dark cover because the original solicitations for Youngblood #3, when it was still like a miniseries,
mm,
was a Chapel glow in the dark cover, which I just
uh,
imagine would have been like his white skull over his face.
yeah. I would do that, please. Yes, please. Here we go. So this is I don't even know if we talked about. I don't even know if we knew about this. So Red Sonja attacks Mars. I like that it's reversed, right? It's kind of neat. Red
Yes.
Sonja is attacking Mars, not Mars attacks. So I think that's cool. I put this on here because this is a Greg Land cover that I've not seen. It's the most dynamic Red Greg Land cover I've seen in a while. It looks like he's probably maybe not. Maybe he is. Maybe it's just a really good Photoshop of somebody, right? I don't know. Really
I don't
good.
know.
Hopefully not.
But I will always read any Mars Attacks comics. I'm such a fan of the 90s movie. I'm such a
Mm.
fan of the 60s cards. Like that's really what it is. Those 60s cards
Yeah.
from Tops are amazing.
Do you have
Like
those? Do you have a copy, or do they make a book like?
they made a book. I think Abrams made a smaller size book.
Oh, I see. Right, like
And
the
it's
Jim Lee
got
book.
yes, exactly like a Jim Lee book. And it's got the original card series from the 60s. It's got the new card series from the 90s.
Mm.
It's got like a pack of new cards with it. And the coolest thing about these books is the dust jacket to them feels like the wax paper, the wax package, the
Oh,
wrapper.
really? Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Is that
that's
the way
pretty.
the Jim Lee one is?
I don't know if the Jim Lee one's like that. I don't have the Jim Lee
Yeah,
one,
I don't
but I
know.
have the Mars Attacks book, the first two Wacky Packages books, and I think the first Garbage Pail Kids book. And then
Mm,
they stopped.
mm.
I
What
don't
are
know
they
why they.
in?
I don't know why they
I
stopped
would
them.
figure with Garbage Pail Kids, you could probably go through like season 4 or 5. Like, I feel like after a
Oh
certain
no,
point, it can get.
let me. The first that book has the first five series of Garbage Pail Kids,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
but it doesn't have the backs to them.
Hmm.
But it does come with a pack of new Garbage Pail Kids. So to me, the better idea would have been to have the backs, or at least like cover, front of the card, and then the next page is like you could maybe put the backs on one page. Yeah, at least the backs that are original art or something. You don't have to put the puzzle pieces on the back. That's dumb. But
Right.
like
Right.
they would have fake diplomas, fake certificates, like all
Right.
that
Right.
stuff's kind of funny.
Did they have to censor any of them?
No, no.
No. I feel like some. I feel I feel like a lot of the '80s stuff, like later on when they have to do something with, it, they might have to like cancel it or take it out. Like if there's like a
Yeah, I
baby
don't.
in a microwave and shit. What was that? What was
No.
that book? There was a book. It was supposed to be in Bizarro Comics. Was
Oh,
that right?
it was a Elseworlds 80-page giant had the Kyle Baker story where the super baby was getting babysat. And I think at one point the baby ends up in a microwave, but it's super baby, so nothing's going to happen to him. But they canceled that book. However, some got
The
released
previews
to the
came out.
UK.
Oh, I see.
So you could buy them here in America, but it costs you like $100 to get it.
Hmm.
But they eventually did reprint that book. They put that story in a Bizarro Comics, but then years later they ended up reprinting the whole thing anyway because they realized it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right,
I think
right,
what
right.
it was, Mark, was it was a post 9/11, thing. Post 9/11, cancel culture got real, and they
Yeah,
stopped a lot of books from being printed, and that's just one of them.
right, right.
They wanted to avoid anything, and it wasn't DC so much. Probably it was just like a Warner Brothers lawyer. So I'm not,
Yeah.
but they eventually came to their senses. Although you know what, I never read the Warren Ellis Hellblazer story. I think it was called Shoot. It's about a
It's
school.
fine. They
Is
eventually
it?
printed that. You used to be able to download a black and white photocopy of it. Somebody
Yeah,
leaked it.
I never got that. You have
It's
to hook me up
fine.
with that. I know
Yeah,
it's fine.
they did print it. They did print it eventually. It was like Vertigo Ascent, Vertigo Vault or something. They did eventually print it and color it, you know.
Yeah, I just
But
never got it. That's
because of
all.
that happened, Warren Ellis left Hellblazer.
But yet his Hellblazer
He
run
quit.
was really good. Like it was a really good run.
It was fine. I thought I really like the Paul Jenkins run. I'm a big fan of the Paul Jenkins, Sean Phillips run. I think that run's ridiculously good. They just
It is
recently
good.
featured it on the DC app, which I thought was pretty cool. That's really what I liked. So the Warren Ellis went the other way. It went like back to like the flashy Ennis stuff. Towards
You know,
Ennis towards the end knew he was writing it
you
flashy,
know, I
and then he
probably
did
didn't.
Preacher.
I didn't read the Jenkins run until after I had read the Ella stuff. Like
It's
I
too
came back
muted.
in.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay. I see what you
You
mean.
won't like it that way. Yeah, you won't like it that way. Once you had the sensational Ennis stuff, for it to go down, it was really cool. It was really like just underground. He was out in Africa getting paint, war paint. Like it was crazy. It was so different, and that was refreshing. And then when it went back, I'm like, you're not progressing. And then I thought when Azzarello took over, Azzarello, I thought that was actually great. I
I
like
thought
that.
that was great as well
That was great. That
because he
was
brought along Richard Corbin with him, and you're like, ah, so ugly. I love it. I
yeah,
love Richard Corbin.
that was good. Threw him in jail.
Threw him in jail. Ooh, he's like, I can't write him in Britain because I'm not from Britain. Like, let me bring him to America. And people booed the idea. It's like, how dare you bring him
He
to
didn't last
America?
very long. He wasn't only on for maybe 2 years, and then he was out. And then Andy Diggle came on, and
If
that was
if even.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Andy Diggle kind of he wears me out. Like I
And
kind of
then,
stopped reading Daredevil when he took
yeah.
over. I tried. I really tried. I give him like I love his Losers book. I thought that was
Mhm.
his best stuff. And that Losers movie is kind of good.
The Luge movie is good. It's a little too soft, but you can watch that now, and it's like every person you got
Yeah.
Negan,
Yep. Captain America.
you got
You got
Heimdall,
you got Gamora slash Uhura
the
slash
Avatar slash
yeah
whatever Avatar name she
Avatar
is.
slash
You know,
Lioness slash
did you see the weird Avatar like quote this week
no.
that Cameron showed the movie or showed a rough cut to his wife, which I think is Susie Amos, who was in Titanic, who he broke up with. I guess whatever person's in the movie, he just marries, right? Because he married Linda Hamilton, right? He originally was married to, I think, Deborah Hill, who worked on the Halloween movies and worked on, I think, Terminator, and then like so. Anyway, he just picks one. Apparently, she cried like crazy, and he just got like annoyed by her. And then what he was like, I don't know, she annoyed me, so I just like left the room. Like she was trying to talk to him about give him feedback about like how emotional it is and stuff like that, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. He comes off like a dick. So, but I don't know. That movie's still plugging away.
So
So yeah, here's a Jay Lee cover, of course,
we
beautiful.
we
I
love it.
imagine it's still June Chung, just with that brightness of that. I like the brightness back here. The coloring on it's really wonderful. Of course, perfect. Linsner, always perfect. I think he's got to be like the most consistent like cover artist that you're never like, oh, another Linsner. I feel like Alex Ross at times when you see Alex Ross until he got re-inspired. I feel like in the Batman run he got re-inspired, but for a while I'm just like, all right,
No, yeah, there
uh,
was a minute you were just kind of like, all right, Alex Ross.
got
But
it.
Linsner,
Yeah,
I think you always like him because even if it starts to look the same, it's always like a sexy woman. So you're like, all right, it's another
yeah,
sexy woman. But when he does something extra, like a Mars Attacks or public domain superheroes or something different, it's like,
yeah. This
it,
is cool too, having it like almost like fade out. I know it's. I imagine it's still physically painted,
right.
um, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it isn't anymore. I'm not sure.
So that's
Um,
cool. I'm excited about that book.
It was a good Kill Raven. You know what's weird about the one Kill Raven one shot he did? That's really
But
good.
yeah,
They put it in the Kill Raven Essential, and it's just like a photocopy of the black and white. Like it's not. There's no correction, no nothing. So it's just like gray pages. Like even the
ugh.
lettering like is all like just whatever color was on the page. They just like put it in there. So it's really weird to have it in the back of like Essential Kill Ravens. I'm looking at Essential Kill Ravens. So you got P. Greg Russell, you got like you got Chaikin, you got Herb Trimp, you got like Fred Kaida. So you're looking at all these different like cool bronze Rich Buckler. You have all these Bronze Age, and then all of a sudden you get to like this one shot. Actually, I would have
Yeah,
really liked it if the Kill Raven Alan
Alan
Davis was in
Davis.
there. Oof, that would be wonderful. Um, but that's okay. Anyway,
All right.
so I this is always a week where I got some toys thrown in. So they do this live stream, and before they put out like the official pictures.
Yeah.
Um, I only put a couple pictures in because the only ones I thought that were good. I really dislike it's weird. Their mix is so weird because their mix is they have Jim Carrey in this suit for what, like 3 minutes? He's not in that
Right.
movie
At, at
very
at
long in
the end
this.
of Batman Forever, it's that white Riddler costume.
It's so cheesy, but then they put out in the same line a Two Face, but the Two Face is cartoon. It's like a different cartoon Two Face. So I'm like, what are you doing? And then, so anyway, so as year one Batman, it's fine. I like the cape on it. And then this, it just says Cowboy Batman. I don't know if this is the Batman from the Garcia. Wasn't there like a Garcia Lopez Cowboy
Well,
Batman?
was he a cowboy Batman in that Grant Morrison series?
Possible. Yeah, that's right. There was a Return of Bruce Wayne where he was like Solomon Kane. He was a Conan.
Right. He was
So like,
caveman Batman.
yeah. So
You
I
know,
don't know.
the best drawing, and I don't know if I could find it to send it to you. Frank Quitely did a comic convention program cover to like a UK con,
Hmm.
and it's Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman in Wild West gear, and it is probably the best Wild West gear you'll ever see on those three characters because it is beautiful. Frank Quitely. We're talking like Earth 2 era Frank Quitely. I'm gonna send that to you so you post it. Don't forget to
Yeah.
post it.
Well, I think I should just make an index card of things that I need to insert in. Like, you know what I mean? That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, because
So
this cover, I don't know if I've ever sent it to you or not. It's beautiful.
I need a pen that works.
It helps.
Riveting, riveting TV. Anyway, so there's that. Um, So here's the story, okay? But I just wanted to put this in because apparently this was a variant cover for Streets of Gotham that either was never printed, but I never saw it before. He put it on his Instagram like a day or two later because I follow him anyway. But I was like, "What is this?" And apparently he said that one of the Marvel editors
Who drew
got
this?
Dustin Nguyen. So Dustin Nguyen, pretty big in the news this week. But Dustin Nguyen, apparently, an editor got this made in stained glass in their office in
That's awesome.
Burbank and said that he would go and he would love it because he could see like it just seems really intricate for someone to like, okay, yeah, I can make a stained glass of this. There's a lot of lines in this thing. So the news of the week essentially is this basically. So, and I don't know exactly what set him off. Most of the time, what sets the artist off is they'll see either their stuff in movies or they'll see uh, stuff that's overseas, like printed, like t-shirts or licensed stuff, and you're like, hey, there's a kid wearing that from Aeropostale, and I drew that, and that's not, I don't get anything for that. Or, I feel like there's something that I'm not sure what triggered him on this, right? So, because it says, basically, it starts off with this. Also, everyone, this is from his Instagram, everyone I'm not working with at Marvel, they can go fuck themselves. I've asked nicely for the past 15 years on behalf of every artist, stop fucking creators over. You're not getting another cover from me until then. So I guess maybe they're asking for something. Drown me. I'm okay with your minimum wage bullshit. Okay. And then he had more to say, just explaining that um, how much less they're paying everything. This caused a lot of people to start talking. This was a lot of
Right.
stuff this week. So,
This is big. This is a big deal. I'm glad he spoke out. Because Mark Miller, people have been talking around this lately. Liefeld talks about mistreatment. Mark Miller talks about how everyone 25 years ago was getting paid so much. Marvel post bankruptcy was paying people better than today, 25 years later, in this shitty downward spiral of an
mhm,
economy we have currently going. Like this, I'm proud of them. Like talk the shit. Like a lot of people. I remember hearing some artists were making like good artists were making $200 a page like 10 years ago. Like A-list artist, 200 bucks a page. You times 20 pages, that's 4 grand a month. That's 1,000 a week.
mhm,
Guess what? You can't live on 1,000 a week anymore.
mhm.
It's not that world. Do you know what I mean?
No, not at all. And there was something where Ed Brubaker was on a lot of podcasts. He says he makes more money off of the of his royalty check for him being in one scene of The Winter Soldier. Uh, I imagine he makes some type of royalties off the books, but probably not that much. And then he was asked to do something for some. He had to come back for some, I think, some Captain America thing, and he was asking, or it might have been for DC, and he asked for the same rate, and they were like, I had to make some calls to get you the same rate. His rate was
This,
$100, hundreds and hundreds less per page.
yeah, they had to fight to get him the same page rate he had 20 years ago or 15 years prior.
15 years ago, right? Which there's
Not
not
good.
cost of living inflation, none of that stuff. So, um, a lot of people have been vocal about this. I think it was it Jen Bartel talked a bit recently about her She-Hulk covers. So now I think she's only working for DC. That her She-Hulk covers just was either they cropped them differently or they put it on. I think what it was they were putting it in a lot of articles. They were licensing it to different things, and she wasn't. It wasn't in her contract or somehow. I don't know. Just a lot not good. A lot not good. Period. So not great. So, but we don't want to stay too super negative. Let me go up here. So this is just this week's books. I don't know. I kind of like doing the math to a couple weeks ago because I love math, but I
Yeah,
thought this was
you do.
interesting. So let's do our just quick math, right? So
All right.
DC one, two. So here we only have two, and they're all so one, two. So 20%, 20% image, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. So well, I guess the balance was six, right? So six or 60%. So we got 60% Marvel. But think about the quality of the books. Like we read Amazing Spider-Man, we don't like it, right? We
Well,
don't we
this is a
don't like it.
return. All right. So number one and number 10 are DC. DC's got two books in the top 10. Absolute Superman
This week. Yeah.
this week. This
Mhm.
week. Correct. And Aquaman 3. Absolute Superman 5, Jason Aaron. That's the
Great.
only book this week I didn't read yet. Aquaman 3,
What?
Jeremy Adams. Jeremy Adams is like I was saving it for last.
Okay.
Um, I like to build up to the best sometimes. Although I jump right into Transformers right away.
Mm.
But Aquaman number 3 is number 10. Jeremy Adams. We love Jeremy Adams. Very pro
hmm
Jeremy Adams.
This is great. Great run. Great
We'll
start
talk
to the
about two of
run.
his books this week on Reviews Day.
Mm.
And then let's skip on Marvel for a minute and go to Image. Transformers is number 3. Of course it is, because Transformers has just been killing it since that book launched. Assorted Crisis Events. Dennis Camp. We like Dennis Camp a lot.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in reviews day. Uh, I like that a ton. I like that a ton, a
I like
ton.
it so much that I did go out and get 21st Century Men, and
Okay.
I'm poised to read that this week. Yeah,
Yeah, I should
things
read that
things
this week.
going well.
Maybe that's a maybe that's a special. Maybe we'll do a special. But
Maybe,
Phoenix, I
maybe.
can't believe Phoenix is in here.
Number
First off,
9.
Phoenix is not X-Men's the crossover, so X Factor's the crossover. Yeah, Storm I think was last week.
Yes.
So the two that were in there, so I get that. Iron Man, I hate this Iron Man run. I didn't like the first issue at all. So I hate this. I want this run. I can't wait for this run to end. I feel like Iron Man just the run comes out if it doesn't hit in the first two, three issues. Even like the Dan Slott run, I was just like, all right. Like it was like two issues in. I'm like, oh my God. Like I haven't like an Iron Man run since since Gillen. I liked Gillen's run. That's right.
I like
It was
Gill's run. He
Fraction
built a lot.
Gillen. Then after that was just a lot of stuff. Duggan's run.
Yeah,
Just a lot. So I'm just surprised that so Phoenix? So maybe we're wrong. Maybe we were joking like a week or two ago that in the news that we had a Joe Quesada variant is Phoenix 11. We're like, what's Phoenix 11? Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, and it was just, I guess
yeah.
just that. But an all new Venom, the character is not even revealed who it is. Like we don't even know who that Venom is until, and maybe that hook is good enough. I just was by the first issue that was boring. I don't care who it is. Probably Luke
Yeah,
Cage,
probably.
or it's Rick Jones. Who cares? It's just I don't know. Anyway, um,
So moving along,
so
right along.
so this news we didn't really even cover the first like boring fucking picture of this Lanterns television show with disheveled eighth or ninth pick Kyle Chandler for right because it was who was it supposed to be
They went after Josh Brolin first,
right.
and then it was talk. Every actor near the 60s was like talked about for like a minute, and finally,
They gotta cut down like the leaks because it's just got to be really tough to be like the eighth or ninth choice. Kyle Chandler he was the first. No, it was Jason Patrick. Jason Patrick was the first
Powers.
Powers guy.
Yeah,
Christian Walker. So he was the first Christian. So, but I thought Kyle was in the. But at that time, like it was rumored that the Kyle Chandler was going to do that, and then that was shelved and never to be seen. Or maybe it'll get leaked eventually, but
yeah.
potentially never to be seen. I don't know. It just sounds like the same shit. I forget they did cast a Carol, I think, and she's too young. It's gonna look weird. I think the person that they hired. But when I first saw Jason Ritter got cast as a recurring role. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, he should be Kyle Rayner, right? Like, but I think he's a little too old for to be Kyle Rayner in this. But just because he's kind of annoying, you know what I mean? He's likable and annoying, just like Kyle Rayner. So I kind of feel like he should be Kyle
No,
Rayner.
that's kind of that would have been really good casting.
It doesn't say who it is.
No.
It doesn't say. It just says that it says Billy Macon is described as a good-looking charmer who does his father's bidding.
All right, so he's kind of
Who
the bad guy.
cares? Awesome. Who cares? I'm so not interested in this concept.
It's not news when it's like, and he's gonna play Billy Macon. It's like, who cares? I don't even know who that is.
I don't know. It's no one. It's no
And
one.
I've read every Green Lantern comic since
Yeah.
the 90s, to say the least.
So wait. Let's look at this lineup here. So wait. So we have True Detective Night Country, which I watched first episode, didn't care.
No,
Ozark,
it's kind of good.
I never finished it.
Ozark's
I
great.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
those are two. That,
Lindelof is half and half. Watchmen is was good and forgettable. Leftovers I never watched. Tom King is very hit or miss. So I don't know. I
so
can't wait
so
to
basically every person here is
hate
hit and
watch
miss.
this. Every person here is hit and miss. Correct. So what
And
is
the
this going
problem
to be?
and the
It's going to be a
problem
problem.
the problem with Kyle Chandler is like, why are you hiring someone who's older? Like, why does he have to be so old? Like, you're Superman's young, you're Batman's. Everyone's like the whole point of like James Gunn doing this DC is this is the new DC universe for a solid 10 years,
Hmm.
maybe 20 years, like the Marvel plan. Not that it's a plan, but like kind of Marvel's going to be hitting on 20 years of stuff.
Right.
So why are you already starting off? In 20 years, this dude's going to be near 80. That
Yeah,
doesn't like
it's bad. It's a bad
that's a
idea.
bad move. And I'm
I
not
don't know.
age like I love old people. Like I think they're great.
There's no
Kyle
reason to not
Chandler's a good.
have John Stewart
Everything's good about
22 and have, you know, like Kyle Rayner at 18. Like, what if you made Kyle Rayner as like 18-year-old Rob Liefeld, right? Like just like I'm hitting the comic scene because he was a comic book artist. Like
he was
that
a
was
comic book
kind of the
artist.
fun,
Yeah,
right? What if you made him like the Wonder Kid, whatever.
Wonderkind. One
Wonderkind.
oh the Wonder Kid. No, it's Wonderkind.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So anyway, I can't do it anymore. All right, so here's a couple extra McFarlane figures. Patina edition. This is really cool looking. It's not expensive either. So this is the Dark Knights of Metal. I do think it's kind of interesting that they literally have like kind of the sketch of it, the initial sketch of it, which is pretty perfect, right? But is this like to stand next to it? You know what I mean? Like, is this like I can't really tell. I guess so. Like, is that a card holder?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I like it. I think this is really good looking. I where's the blue copy of this? Like I feel like I haven't seen the blue
Oh
copy
yeah,
of this, right? So they have an Azrael Night. Well, this says it says Nightmare Edition. Isn't Nightmare the like Scott Snyder? No, not Scott Snyder. Zack Snyder. That's what I think. When I think Nightmare, I think of that.
yeah, right,
But
right,
so I don't know. I want a blue version of this. If I can have a blue version of this, this is the Joe Quesada, Mike Manley, you know,
right. Azrael, Batman,
as
as
bats,
bats.
as bats. With I like the logo design. I think having the logo, him on logo, I think it's great. I want. It has not been said they love variants. Give me a blue on this one, and they probably will. They probably will. It just hit. I think the design's great. You know, I really, but um, I still look at that. I don't know. Eventually, I got to figure out my rotation on posters. I finished everything, but like I really like that Casada Asbats poster because
Yeah,
really like
that's really good.
no one can draw that helmet, so they just decided to not draw that helmet. That helmet wasn't really. It was like a couple issues, and I was like, I guess we're not going to draw it like this. If you think about it, and also we should really cover. I'll put that up. I'll put the Asbats wizard cover pencils because that's really fun to look at. Because I guess he gave it to Wizard, and then DC's like, you can't have that, and then it just darkened it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
The Azrael
yeah, no,
Batman
no,
cover. Like the pencils of it came out recently, or maybe not that recently, but I've seen it recently.
yeah. Very
So
recently, I saw them as well.
all right, and then McFarlane, I guess, is doing a Berserker figure. This I
Why
thought was
not?
a weird, but see the packaging. I'm just like, this is this packaging is very, very much like, SH Figure Arts, NECA. I'm just surprised. I don't think he's done this packaging before, doing like the window packaging with the open. It's okay, 50
Yeah,
bucks.
it's probably what Keanu wants. This is what he wants. He's a toy collector, comic collector. He probably has stuff. He's like, this is how I want it to look, and it looks good. The toy looks amazing. Like his face, like especially
Yeah,
on the front, it looks like Keanu Reeves. Like it's amazing that toys can do that so well.
yeah. That's okay. All right. All right. That's fine. I
Yeah,
put this in for you. You didn't see this yet? This is like $100 though. Cybertron Chase 3-pack Wheeljack.
this is beautiful. I think Takara put it out first, kind of.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what's great about these toys are it's Jazz, Bumblebee, Wheeljack, and when they transform, even though the robots look kind of Earth mode, they transform into their original cartoon,
Mhm.
close to accurate Cybertronian vehicles. I love this.
Which we wanted as a kid very
As a
badly.
kid,
Very
as a kid, we
badly.
wanted these so bad.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a couple other ones that I don't know if we'll get them or not, but this is great. Like these are just phenomenal. I remember watching that first episode of Transformers, and I'm like, what is this? Like I didn't
Was that the
understand
first
like
episode?
the first episode.
Holy crap.
They transform into these. And I remember not understanding like why don't they look like then I'm like, oh, they're on an alien planet. Why would they look like a Volkswagen? I don't know if it says 4 million years ago. I think when it opens. I think it just says like Cybertron.
So this
And
came
then
out from Takara. Does this mean that the Hasbro made the designs and like whoever made to me, they're hiding so well like all the Cybertron stuff because that's what made no sense to us when we were kids. We're like, well, on Earth, why
yeah, Jazz
you
has
have
still got a
like
Porsche hood for a chest, you know?
right? Why does that make sense? Or because I guess Teletran 1 goes out and then surveys
Yeah.
what the
Right,
vehicles look
right.
like and then
Search,
modifies them.
search, repair, repair.
Right. And
That's
then
great.
they did. So,
And I remember as a kid, I'm like, well, what did Optimus Prime turn into? Like, I wanted to see that
right.
Cybertronian
Oh
version
yeah,
of
yeah, we
Optimus
never saw
Prime.
that. We never saw that.
No, no. Don Figueroa, when Dreamwave had the rights to Transformers and he did the War Within series, which took place on Cybertron, Figueroa did a phenomenal job of taking these original cartoon designs and just upping them a little bit. So they pretty much look like this for War Within. And then he went and created a War Within Optimus Prime. I'm not picking it
Mhm.
up. I have an oversized masterpiece, third party Optimus Prime War Within
Oh yeah.
design. It's just so badass looking. It's so much better than like I love Transformers 1. I think that movie was great,
Mhm.
but I feel like that Prime design could have been better
You
because
know,
I'm just spoiled by the War Within design.
yeah, it's a bummer that it just didn't do well, and I don't think they have a cartoon or anything like lined up for it. They don't have a two lined up, two or three, or it just didn't. It just flopped. So I guess that's it. You know what I
But
mean? I
kids,
feel like.
but kids keeps watching it. Kids keep like the toys keep being made. It's constantly it's doing good. It just didn't wasn't
Mhm.
gangbusters in the movies. And I wonder if a second movie got made, could you do it a little bit cheaper? Maybe. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see any
I
sort
thought
of
it looked
less
kind of, I
quality.
thought it looked good, but I did think it looked cheap. I did think it looked television-y in parts. So
But like, can you do maybe just do the sequel and see how it works out? Like, because you're going to get another line of toys out of it, and hopefully the kids are watching it on Paramount Plus or whatever. Like, it's
yeah,
getting
Mutant Mayhem. I think that's where Mutant Mayhem made a lot of money on toys. They made a ton of money. Turtles always makes money on toys, but
yeah,
it's all related. So we'll
neat.
see. Here's
Yeah, but I think that's really awesome.
some sad news. And I thought about this a lot yesterday. So Peter David runs out of insurance, loses Medicaid, and needs your help. So where, I would think that he, what, what, what money would he have made while Image was making all this money? Not really Saxon Violins money. There's no real Saxon, but I would imagine that Hulk at
I
the time,
imagine that
what Dale Keown was doing,
he was getting paid well for Hulk. He probably got paid better for the Hulk novel. He probably made a lot of money on Future Imperfect.
made money off Star Trek novels.
He made money off Star Trek novels. He never quite was able. I think he wrote some Babylon 5
Hmm.
for TV, but I don't know how much more TV stuff he got into.
Hmm.
Spider-Man 2099, he probably got paid very well in the beginning, but that like he stuck around on that book even when he didn't like have to.
Right.
That book ended up he did end up leaving. I don't think under great reasons either.
Mm.
But
No, I
he
think
got
they,
kicked
they,
off.
I think that's when they were trying to retool and then crossover all the time.
Yeah.
And that's when
So
2099 lost its way a bit.
I don't think he's particularly rich. But I think he didn't make a lot of money for a couple of years, especially when Dale Keown was drawing Hulk. He was getting a piece of all that.
Right.
But like, it's not like they gave him money when Spider-Man 2099 showed up in the Spider-Verse movies.
They gave him $1,500 or something, whatever menial amount Marvel decides if they decide to give
If they
anyone
decide, because they
anything.
don't have to give you anything. So you just got to be like, thank you, sir. May I have another? Please,
Yeah, I
sir, can
don't
I have
know.
some more?
I mean, it's
No,
it's. I mean, I know even like I mean, look, I know I work for a financial company, but they literally like offer us like matching on 401k. I know there's not really that in there, but I feel like they're wish a lot of these guys or at least recommend they have like they're recommended to have like a financial advisor or something like that where they can put money into different things with their royalties or live off the money that you made then. You know what I mean? As your work goes down. You know what I mean? So he created Random. Come on, the creator of Random and Cyber.
I know. It's like, yeah, he wasn't great with creating characters. Like, he could
Maestro is
give us,
basically Hulk. Professor Hulk is Hulk. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah,
it's Strong
Strong
Guy
Guy
is.
is an established Guido. He was
Are we
established
sure?
already.
Yeah. Who created Strong Guy? Jim Lee? Wasn't he like Lula Cheney's bodyguard?
Yeah, he was Lena Chaney's bodyguard. I mean, he might have created the personality for him, and obviously everything with X Factor, he gave all those characters better personalities than they had ever had.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's sad to me. It's like, okay, so is he not 65? Because if he's dropped off Medicaid, why is he dropped off Medicaid?
I don't know. It
Ooh,
doesn't really say.
it could be the whole Doge thing. They're getting rid of people on Medicaid
Yeah,
because
maybe.
Medicaid goes to poor people, Medicare goes for old people. So I guess he should be old enough for Medicare. He's got to be 65, right?
I would think so. Yeah. But I
But
feel
Medicare doesn't cover everything.
yeah.
It
It's
just
just
sucks. Our
yeah,
healthcare
just not
system
not great.
needs to be better. Way to bring things up, Mark.
I know, right? Well, we'll just keep moving on. There's some
So anyway,
this I
people, if you want to donate, he has a GoFundMe up.
yeah.
So if you want to donate to that,
If you've ever had any good feelings about Maestro, Future and Prep, what's your favorite Peter David story?
yeah. I mean, Future Imperfect is really great, but I actually read that novel, What
Mm,
Savage Beast, as a kid, as a teenager. I went away on vacation with my high school girlfriend, and during the road trip, I read that novel, and it's really good. It's got some really good George Perez pages throughout it. Some good pinups and such. That kind of their chapter breaks.
did he do the cover or he didn't do the cover of that?
He didn't do the cover.
Hmm,
That was painted because I guess you got to
that's
have it
how it
painted.
is.
That's how it is. Don't give George Perez, one of the best comic artists of all time, the chance to do the cover.
Who also
Dumb.
died ill. He died ill and not that Wealthy.
He had to do I think some GoFundMe stuff as well. Yeah,
That makes the
it's
most
healthcare.
sense.
It's sad that GoFundMe is the biggest healthcare in the country right now. You know that?
That's tough, man. Yeah.
It is tough. Like you and I have healthcare, but like you always worry if things really get bad, are you gonna lose it? My friend had got cancer. He was a UPS driver and he ended up not driving. He couldn't come back for like 2 years. And like the last 2 months of his treatment, like his insurance ran out. I'm like, you just can't do that. You can't cover the rest, you know? It's like, what the hell's going on?
Nope.
Because he wasn't working. If you don't work, then you don't get paid. But
Yeah, there's no protections. There's nothing. You know what I mean? It's really scary, because I'm thinking about my kids like, okay, well, when they're off my insurance, like what happens? What are they gonna
yeah,
have
your kids are what?
jobs?
Are they 19 or 20? They 20?
19.
They're 19.
So like
So you got
after a
7 years of
period,
them being covered.
hmm,
And then at 20, the day they turn 26, because they're twins, boom, they're both done.
it's over.
You know, what are they gonna have their hopefully be in their professions by then?
I hope so. Yeah, God, please. Anyway, let's stay in fantasy world here. Let's stay here. Okay. So Clover Press to publish the Art of DC series starting with Jorge Jimenez. Sounds good. It's Kickstarter. This to me, it's so strange. All this stuff, all these different licensing it's so odd to me, right? Because like so DC or Warner Publishing wouldn't have a division. Like Abram Comics Arts does a lot of special products for Marvel. That Kickstarter technically, but you know who Clover Press is?
No,
Clover Press is Hank Canals.
that's right.
Hank
Okay.
Canals. Clover
Listen,
Press publisher. Listen, I'm fine with it now. I was actually a little, I'm like, why isn't they doing that? Look, I want Hank Canals to have the money. Give Hank Canals the money
that's right.
because he may not get Youngblood money, I guess, right? He wouldn't get Youngblood money. They rescripted him out.
Howled, howled, gurgle, no arrows. He was friends with Liefeld. He's still friends with Liefeld. But Liefeld just, I guess Hank Canals wasn't any better of a scripter than Liefeld could do. Like he saw that after the first issue. And I
Right.
think he only really let him do it because they were friends. It's not like he needed Hank.
Uh,
Liefeld just didn't like the script.
well, Hank Canals, I think he worked for Malibu then, right? Wasn't he a Malibu person? He was like a liaison, I think. I thought he was working for
He
Malibu with
he did get
Glenn
hired,
Orbeck and stuff.
right, but they had been friends prior to that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And
Yeah,
he
I
did
always
get
I
into
always thought
Malibu
he
pretty.
he was with Malibu for a long time.
I know he was writing some Protector stuff, like Man of War and such, after Image had left. Like they kind of built up their Protectors line. I don't really, but I mean, you might be correct. But again, Hank Canals was
He's no Eric Silvestri, that's for sure. He's no who are the other scripters? He's no Brandon
Brandon
Choi.
Choi, Eric Silvestri, true, and everyone else was that. I mean, McFarlane probably could have used a scripter.
No, he's just gonna write it and then overwrite everyone else. So so this is fine, but see this to me this it's kind of cool because this is kind of like a Scott Dunbier situation where Scott Dunbier worked at Wildstorm in DC, and this is kind of the same thing where Canals was working, through Jim Lee, I guess, was in the DC editorial. So,
He worked for theme parks for a long time. Hank Canals. He was doing all the Warner Brothers Great Adventure theme parks and stuff like that. He was working with them,
hmm,
and then when that kind of dried up, not have dried up, or things got shifted. I think that's when he moved to DC proper. And I think he was doing trades. Was he doing trades and collections?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was a collection manager, right? Yeah, but it says here, I didn't know this. It says I've known Jorge for years. We've been looking for this book for so long. His work on Fringe, I guess what that Fox series. That's right. DC had, I guess, like web comics of it at the time.
Oh yeah.
Fringe. I wonder how I wonder how like early stuff that is. I wonder if he did some of the Injustice stuff. You remember Injustice had like the digital stuff, and it was like early Bruno Redondo. It was early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I'm trying to think. There's a couple other people in there that became something a lot bigger, but started there, and it was kind of
I
rough.
I read all of that, and
That was good. It was a fun read,
writing
man.
wise,
That's a
it
fun
was,
read.
yeah, it is a really fun read.
Tom Taylor's still kind of living off of that. I don't think I've read anything better that he's done ever. Like Dark Knight's Metal, or not Dark Knights. What was Dark Knights of what was it? Well, we just talked about it. Whatever that Dark Knights
Right.
of
Dark
Steel.
Knights of Steel.
Yeah.
That's good.
I couldn't. I don't know. I
No,
read
couldn't
it
you do
and
it?
just nah.
I
I
like
just
that.
didn't care.
I liked his he did the first zombie, the deceased, right? That's him. That's kind of
Deceased.
good.
Yeah. And
I
then
like it. I
DC
like
Vampires. DC Vampires is Rosenberg, I think.
Rosenberg. Yeah, I like I like his Nightwing run. I think that was pretty good.
Hmm. Don't
Mm,
remember. I don't
okay,
remember. Do not know. Do not know.
I don't reckon.
So look how big this looks, though. Woo, woo.
That's a lot. I'm
Yeah,
glad that DC and Marvel. I don't know if they get a cut or not. You got to pay them licensing
I
fee. I don't
imagine.
know
Yeah,
because they don't want to do it themselves. But like Flesk has all the Art Adams and Frank Cho books. You
yeah.
know, Dune Beer's doing his own thing. So this is the thing. I guess DC
Dunbeer.
Dune Beer. So
Yeah. I mean, look, it doesn't say. It doesn't say how much it is. It doesn't say, like how thick, what the count is just yet. But we'll see. So I mean,
Jorge
I
Jorge
wonder what's going to happen though. They're going to do like I wonder how this works. Like I don't know if there's any Clover Press stuff right now. Like, is it something that they'll do? They'll do the Kickstarter, then they'll do like some type of like print version later. We'll see. We'll see.
does
Kind of all
he does
the
not Jorge
things.
does not speak English.
I don't think he speaks no, not like hardly at all. Yeah, I think it's been on
Yeah.
Instagram a couple times. It's been really, really, really tough. So print
It's the only
watch.
it's the only Miller World interview I couldn't get through because it's not in English.
Oh, really?
And Miller had to have someone else do the interview. So it's completely
Oh, it's a little disconnected.
yeah,
That's a
so that's
bummer.
fine. Yeah,
That's a
Oh
bummer.
well. I'm sure
But
somebody, maybe somebody put like subtitles underneath of it. I don't know.
yeah, last week in print watch, Marvel canceled second and third prints, and DC just can't get enough of printing this stuff for the sixth, fifth, fourth, and third printings. Absolute number one gets six printing, while two and three, fourth and third printings. Absolute number one, absolute Superman, Wonder Woman, Superman, fifth and fourth printings. Dan Mora, Dragata, Frank Morgan connecting covers. They say connecting covers. How are these connecting? Because they're red? Like I don't, they're not connecting at all. Like I don't know what they're
No, they
talking
they
about.
they're in three different.
There's three different
It's hell.
locales. And
Wonder
I
Woman's
was
in
like, oh,
hell.
cool. They're
Batman's in the
gonna,
city. Superman's flying. Yeah, they're not. They don't connect at all.
yeah. Okay.
Uh, yeah.
I mean, look, I just want them. There's probably going to be a like again. Are they going to do like an absolute art book, right? Because there's so many absolute variant covers. Like there is every time an issue comes out, it's like 10, right? So we're on issue
Yes.
six. So that's at least I'd say and number one probably had some retailer exclusives. Number one probably had like 30. So now you're talking, we're talking up to almost 100. Then the second print cover. Some of them are zoom, some of them are cheap. Some of them are the same cover, different logo, or colored logo. I kind of like that. I kind of get off on that. Um, I picked up a Thundercats one this weekend for $1, and I didn't know it's third printing. Who cares? But it was the same David Nakayama cover,
Right.
but the coloring on the logo is a little different. Okay, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's the number one. Cardstock cover. So okay, I'll take it. I put this in for you. I don't know if you saw this. There's a new issue, a big issue. I don't know who this is. Big issue magazine. You might have to see if you can find one out there, either in the world or maybe there's digital of it somewhere. There's an editorial for
Oh,
Alan
cool.
Moore.
Nice.
Talk
Nice.
about
I,
noise,
I would like to read my own
noise.
editorial.
Now it says Banksy. Now, do you know? Do you remember it was season two? I think it was season two of Ted Lasso when the guy from Detroiters is on
Right.
playing the guy from Nigeria, or where he goes to see, and then they go to a museum, and this guy goes over and talks to him, and they're like, oh, you know who that was? Because he said that everyone in the museum is actors, like he's too big of a
Yes.
representative, like that no one everyone in there, and there's a guy that walked by and started talking. Do we know if that was really Banksy or was that a joke? Or
Huh.
we don't know.
Don't know.
It's crazy, right?
I
Like
don't
we
know because
don't.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't think he's seen because I feel like even in there's a documentary called like Exit Through the Gift Shop that was about his art, but then they ended up interviewing him and it became about like the mystique of Banksy. And he's in it, but he's all like just in a cloak or they change his voice and stuff. So I don't know. Crazy.
That's
So I
interesting.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll check that out. Faux show.
there it is. Look at that photo. Look at that. All right. Yeah, this we talked about last week. I don't know if you saw this. I found it on Reddit. So this is a three-pack that's going to come out with the Void Rivals,
That's
and
awesome.
they're doing an exclusive.
Cover.
Yeah, they're doing an exclusive cover that's going to come with some type of special one show, some type of special box set. But pretty cool. Yeah, there they are.
There they are. They
I wonder
are.
how big they are. Like, look, because it looks like they have like, look, I have a screw right there.
Are
It's a
they
little.
are they mask size?
They look like mask. Yeah, you're right. They look like mask
They
size.
they should. They don't, but they should have mask on
They should.
and reveal their heads like they do in the comic. Like what? We're the same.
The same heads. We're all the same, Rob. We're all the
Nice
same.
cover. Is that Marcello?
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah. So that's
That's
the
nice
news
looking.
for the week. That's all I got. I know you didn't really read anything. I don't know. That was.
No, the only news thing I wanted to add is that Marvel's doing a an Age of Apocalypse anniversary
Oh yeah.
miniseries,
hmm
and throughout it, I guess Jeff Loeb is doing a story. I guess throughout all the issues,
He's doing like a backup.
it's doing a backup,
hmm
but it's the same artist throughout it. And I'm like, you son of a gun, why didn't you hire Roger Cruz? Like Roger Cruz is the second. I mean, he
Roger
drew
Cruz
X-Men.
is too expensive, even though he's probably not that
He's
expensive.
probably not that expensive. He
Right.
just did
They're like,
Robin.
hey,
He did
right.
Robin for DC, Flash for DC.
As it
Uh,
was ending, like
yeah.
as it was like that's the thing is like he's not the premier artist. He'll be the really good fill-in artist.
Well, they let him do Flash 1 Minute War with Jeremy Adams, and that was beautiful.
Yeah.
So like, and Roger Cruz had done, I think a year or two ago, I think last year he did an Age of Apocalypse commission with all the characters. I'm like, oh my God, this looks like it could have came out 30 years ago. Roger
Yeah.
Cruz is like really good. Like he has his own style. Like he's a very good artist. And I would have preferred. I'd like to see him come back to do some Age of Apocalypse stuff because it's going to
Yeah.
make money. Because Age of Apocalypse with Jeff Loeb, like the big idea is we didn't know Jeff Loeb was going to come back and even do comics anymore.
hmm
He had kind of made it seem like he wasn't sure if he wanted to continue writing when you and I talked to him at Baltimore this year.
Right.
And then it's like, so we got Batman, Long Halloween, Last Halloween, semicolon, I should like to say. And we
Semicolon,
got,
semicolon.
and now we're getting Hush Tua, which is broken up over the course of, 24 months.
Hush Tua.
And now we're getting some Marvel stuff. So welcome back. He hasn't really let us down yet.
Yeah, that Age of Apocalypse is by Lansing and Kelly, and I've not liked anything ever that they've written. It's always been fine. And I'm like,
Right.
okay. The only thing that seemed kind of interesting, I think, has been real disjointed, is that timeless. They had a timeless one shot, like I feel it was like almost 2 years ago. Now they have a timeless like miniseries that's happening,
Which we might
and
not even get the last issue of. Like it's not selling good. Like he's so,
it's crazy.
I know.
Like it, and that's the only concept that I think is kind of interesting.
It's not
Is
bad.
Luke
It's
Cage
not a
in the
bad book.
future? Yeah, I think that they always mismarketed it. So, but that's it, everybody. You got anything else? That was it.
That's it for the
Just
news.
that.
I didn't really do
Look
a
at
deep
that.
dive. So
Pretty good week. Keep it nice and tight. They were a tight 45. I don't know what this was. Probably not a tight 45.
probably not.
I don't think it's a 3 hour though. We did one 2 weeks ago that we thought it was an hour. It
Yeah.
was
It was
3 hours. And it was like four
yeah,
o'clock when we were
we're
done.
not
Like, what the heck?
we're not good with
Whoops.
time.
Not really.
So people come back for reviews day. Check out
Yep.
our Last Blood review. We're one of the few people that got our hands on Rob Liefeld's Last Blood. So check
More to
that
come.
out.
Yeah.
More to come. Mordecai.
More to come. Where is my thing? That's what she said.